People think your silence means weakness. They think you're shy, unsure, maybe even invisible. In life, the ones who talk the most often achieve the least, because their energy goes into words, not work. But the truth is, talking never built anything, hands did. We live in a world where people announce every dream before they've even started it. They talk about success more than they chase it. They promise greatness, but never pay the price it takes to reach it. But here's the real lesson. You don't need to tell the world what you're going to do. Just do it. Because those who speak less often move mountains quietly. So before you spend another minute trying to convince the world of your worth, remember this. Those who do more and talk less are the ones who end up being talked about. Once upon a time, in a quiet farming village in Mississippi, there lived a boy named Jacob Miles. Jacob wasn't like the other boys. He didn't talk much, didn't argue, and never bragged about anything. But his mind was sharp, and his hands were always busy. While others played by the river or gossiped at the store, Jacob spent his evenings fixing tools, carving wood, and helping his mother run their small vegetable stall. His neighbors often whispered, "That Miles boy's too quiet. He'll never make it out of this village." But Jacob's father, an old carpenter, always told him, "Son, the tree that grows strong doesn't make noise when it rises. It just keeps reaching for the sun." One summer, a local company announced a youth training program in town, a chance for young people to learn mechanical work and earn a small income. For many village boys, it was a ticket out of poverty. Jacob signed up quietly, but his childhood friend Mason, known for his loud mouth and charm, laughed at him. "Jacob, you're wasting your time. You don't even talk enough to get noticed." Jacob smiled slightly and said, "Maybe I'll let my work talk for me." On the first day, while others bragged about how easy the training would be, Jacob quietly studied every instruction, every diagram. When a machine broke, the instructor asked who could fix it. The room fell silent, except for Jacob. Without a word, he stepped forward, rolled up his sleeves, and after 30 minutes of focused work, the engine roared back to life. Everyone turned to look at him in shock. The instructor grinned. "Son, what's your name?" "Jacob Miles, sir." "Well, Jacob, your hands just did more talking than most people's mouths ever will." Weeks passed. Mason kept boasting about how he'd become the company's next supervisor. He spent more time talking than learning. Jacob, on the other hand, arrived early every day, stayed late, and learned everything he could. At the end of the program, the manager gathered the trainees and announced, "We're offering one full-time job to the most dedicated student." Everyone expected Mason's name to be called. But instead, the manager said, "Congratulations, Jacob Miles." Mason's smile vanished. "Him? He barely talks." The manager looked at him and said, "Exactly. While you were talking, he was doing." Jacob worked his way up, from a mechanic's helper to a skilled engineer within 5 years. He started his own workshop in the village, employing other young men who once mocked him. His quiet focus turned into success that spoke louder than any word could. One day, Mason walked into Jacob's shop, holding a broken engine. "Hey, can you fix this for me?" he asked, voice humble. Jacob smiled gently. "Sure, Mason. It's never too late to start working, and stop talking." A few months later, the local school invited Jacob to give a short talk to students about hard work. He stood before them, the same boy who once barely spoke, and said, "When I was your age, people laughed at me for being quiet. But I learned something. The loudest voice isn't always the strongest. Sometimes silence means focus, and focus builds your future." He paused, then added softly, "Don't tell people what you're going to do. Let them see it. Because the world respects results, not promises. So remember this. You don't need to be loud to make noise. The hammer doesn't boast before it builds. It just strikes until something strong stands. Let your actions speak, let your results echo. And one day, the people who doubted your silence will be the ones talking about your success. If you've ever been the quiet one, the underestimated one, this story is for you. Comment below, speech balloon, I'll let my work speak for me. Because one day, your silence will make more noise than their words ever could. And don't forget, subscribe for more real-life moral stories that awaken your courage, purpose, and strength.